Listening.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Get y'all audio included, man. Get y'all audio included, man. Know what I'm saying? Uh, let's see what we got, man. Let's see what we got. A lot of interesting topics to talk about here. Let's give a few people some time to join.
Gotcha.
Let me get the stream up on my phone. Get the stream up on my phone here. Okay. I mean, yeah. So, we got a lot of interesting topics to touch up on here. Um, First things first. I think we should touch up on a little bit of the season, man. What was expected. I mean, obviously I didn't make the playoffs, which was very upsetting. I kind of started off the season pretty hot, and then folded at the end of the season. But you also have the Titans who didn't make it to the playoffs. Are there any surprises to you guys?
That did or did
For
not make the playoffs.
as far as playoff appearances, are there any surprises
Oh
to
yeah,
you guys?
Steelers is a most definite surprise. Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, and speaking on the Steelers, Lou he likes to put everybody on his shirt.
yeah,
But he seemed to get put on his shirt about an hour ago, maybe.
yeah, he was shirted up for sure.
Yeah, I
Small
mean,
size
yeah,
too.
yeah, very small size, very small size. I mean, 34-0.
That was tough. I mean, he went against McNugget, you know what I'm saying? And I think McNugget had that secret sauce, man. You know what I'm saying? And he kept dipping him in it. So I don't
It's,
know.
I
That
mean,
was
at
Yeah.
certain points, you just gotta, understand, what type of coach we're talking about. I mean, that was expected. I mean, nobody can be surprised how they were able to back into the playoffs. We can have a conversation regarding that and the struggles in the AFC, to
Mm.
allow such a trash organization and a trash team to get in. That just talks about the lack of coaching talent in the AFC. It talks
oh
about
wow.
Oh
the
wow,
lack of
wow.
holding your team and your organization accountable to allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to even sniff the playoffs. But I mean, it's Wheezy. Wheezy is Wheezy. I mean, and you can't Wheezy without Wheezy. So I mean, again, I think
Hmm.
the bigger question is what's wrong with the AFC? I mean, you have some teams that probably should have been better. And, is it time to really look at the AFC and, I mean, for lack of a better word, and I hate to be harsh, fire everybody?
Oh wow. I mean, personally, I think coming from an AFC standpoint, I think we have definitely have some good coaches over here. There are a few playoff appearances that I didn't expect to see, especially with Mike S being the number 4 seed here. We definitely didn't. I can say the entire league probably didn't expect that. And him is and speaking on Mike S, he pulled the upset off against Lamar, against the Ravens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna
And,
happen.
and
I know.
again, doesn't that speak to the absolute wretch and the absolute disgrace of the AFC, where you have a 8-9 team put up 51 points against a air quote solid organization in the Ravens. That literally just adds.
Yeah, I think we lost you, buddy. Um, there's a lot of shit talking going on there. I think we lost you. Uh,
That was funny. Again though, man, I think overall, kind of like what he was saying though, but overall, man, I mean, shout out to the Powerhouse Football League, man. It was really It's not a lopsided league. Basically any given Sunday,
Mm,
we had a great participation, and then with this playoffs, yeah, I mean, you don't expect the Ravens to get dominated the way they did by the Bills. You know what I mean? You
mm,
did kind of expect the Jaguars to beat the Steelers. You thought that I mean, the the Bears versus the Rams, it looked ugly at first, and then it looks prettier on paper. But if you watch that game, that was tough. The surprise for me was the Eagles versus the Lions.
I
The
got
Eagles were in
just a
total
memo from
control.
the league office, so we want to.
No worries. The Eagles were in total control of this game. And next thing you know, I don't know what
well,
happened.
hold on. Yeah, let me slide over to the Eagles and the Giants, man. I mean, if I remember correctly, the score was 21-0 in the first quarter,
Eagles and the Lions.
right?
Yeah.
Eagles and the Lions. Eagles and the Lions, 21-0 the first quarter. Now I checked the chat. We had Twitch in there, the Bears coach talking shit to the Lions coach, saying, let me guess, it's the QB's fault.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and we I don't know what
He
happened.
was
I
blaming
sent the
Coley Cole.
text.
Yeah, yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
But let's be honest, Coach Shifty. I mean, we're amongst friends as coaches, coaching fraternity, and tomorrow's Sunday,
yeah.
right? After Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, right? I mean, because that happens. Are we really
Hmm.
surprised that Teddy is Teddy?
Oh
I mean,
no.
is it shocking? Is it like, did we expect him to get 21-0 and win? I mean, March Sunday, football comes on, you take dinner. All that goes hand in hand. So, okay, it's apple pie, it's America, it's teddy bear and ass. I mean, that's just it's a rite
Oh
of
my
it's
God.
it's a rite of passage, and it's I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to embrace being ass, but
Hmm.
Damn. I
if
mean,
if Teddy just understands that from Assville comes potential suckness, so you can
Hmm.
graduate. He
Hmm.
will, I
But
think,
what
because
I don't understand is that man made the
wow.
playoffs.
yeah,
That
but but
that
but but,
coach made the
but
playoffs. He
everybody,
can't be that bad.
but everybody
Mm,
in year one of a brand new game, we see the anomalies. We see the things that are not norm. But then once everything level sets, then you see things start to you see the normal coaches who normally coach make some adjustments, make some tweaks, and they're back. But we've seen this in year one of Madden. If I'm not mistaken, in the defunct Brotherhood League, I think Wheezy in year one won a fictitious bowl. I think Rail
oh wow.
maybe in year one,
No, that
had
was
a good run.
that was actually the last season
Okay, so that was year
with mid
99. Okay, well,
participation. Yeah,
okay,
it was,
year
it was
99.
it was
Okay,
a breakdown of
breakdown.
yeah.
Yes. So again, it happens, and I
Mm,
like Teddy. I like the little fella.
mm,
I mean, I like, but I think again, yesterday was a microcosm of Teddy's career in Philly, and I think
Hmm.
the real question is, there's some passionate Eagles fan. Coach Shifty, is a
yeah,
passionate
yeah.
Eagles fan. Coach Endon is a
Mm,
passionate Eagles fan. Is it
Hmm.
is it time to question whether or not Teddy has done enough and maybe send him to, Jackson State or Duke?
Oh
I
no,
don't know.
not with
Are you?
Coach Prime.
Wow.
I'm
Are
just
you
asking.
suggesting he gets fired
I mean, I'm
from
just.
from the league?
I mean, I don't know because I think that you know, making sure that the light bills are paid, making sure that the parking, the white lines in the parking, is clean, and there are things
Hmm.
that from the front office
Okay.
perspective that we need. But as far as coaching and getting the Eagles to the next level, I mean, what
Mm.
realistically can Teddy do or has done that the Philadelphia fans who are rabid fans can say, you know what, we believe? I don't know. That's just the question. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough, man. I sent Coach Teddy a text during the game, man, when he was up 21-0. I
And
said,
what did you say?
no, it was right before
And what did you
right
say?
before he threw the pick. I told him specifically. I said, stay poised.
Okay.
Okay, this is after he threw right before he threw the pick. I said, stay poised, don't throw this game away, run the ball, man.
And
You
what
gotta
happened?
control the ball against DZ.
And what happened, Coach? Did he listen?
His response was bet, and
Okay.
then I took a little nap, and I woke up to DZ winning. And then I see that Teddy has not scored since the first quarter. So I mean,
Did he did he
that's
choke?
pretty,
Do you think he choked? You think the pressure
yes,
was just too big? The pressure was too big.
yes,
Wow.
yes. The pressure, yeah.
Do you
The pressure
think
was
because
definitely there.
DZ was on the other side? I mean, you're talking about, the Anderson over PHFL. You're talking about the
Corny.
what?
Yeah.
You're talking about a legend. You're talking about a legend. Mr. I mean, Mr. DZ said, Mr. DZ. You're in the chat. I mean, do you think that DZ already was up 7-10-0 already before the game started just because of the legend, just because of the mystique, the aura of Coach DZ? Do you think he was
I
in
don't.
Teddy's head?
Yes. After, yes, for sure. After, I believe after DZ scored that first time, I think Teddy I don't know how you lose momentum that quick, man. But it just went down from there, man. And I don't know if it's easy to get in Teddy's head, but from that performance, I think a lot of viewers are going to be looking at that and going to say, you know what, if I'm down 21 to this guy, I
got a
definitely
chance?
have a chance of winning this game.
What else, DZ? I'll ask you. And again, we have viewers, we have our, our international partnerships with PHFL, United Kingdom, and all over the globe. Was there any point in the game when it was 21-0 where doubt creeped in? Was there any point where you said, you know what, I have a young quarterback, we accomplished a lot with this team, this just may not be our day? Did that ever creep in to the Lions locker room at any point in the first quarter?
If there was any doubt, it was a small amount. You alluded to it earlier. Young quarterback, guy that a lot of people didn't want, and he just threw a bad pass. He threw a bad pass, and I knew that the team, they were gonna rally around him, settle him down, and the defense made a couple of plays, man, gave him, he got his bearings about him, and the rest was history. There wasn't any real doubt, like, oh, the season's over. You play until multiple zeros hit that clock. That's the way we play here.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach DZ, because I mean, again, you're definitely, a coaching legend. If you had your choice of, let's fast forward and let's just say, the next round or the conference championship round. You have a nemesis in Coach Twitch who in essence says you've never beaten him in the playoff. I'm not sure. I don't have the PHFL Bible in front of me to see whether or not that's accurate. Then you have True Gamer, who over the last couple of seasons, if you haven't got your number changed, he has it. Which team do you think you match up better against, and who would you like to see if that kind of manifests itself?
That's a good question. Who would I prefer to match up with? I probably would prefer to match up with Twitch. Like, are we talking about the conference championship? Is that what we're
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
Yeah, I would think I would prefer to match up with Twitch in the conference championship. I believe
Why is that?
that will have me in the mind frame to focus. 100%. I don't really have a lot of respect for True Gamer as a coach, as a user. I feel like he thrives because of the personnel that he has compared to what other people have. As much as I talk about Twitch, he's a solid competitor. He's a good user, and I feel like that would have me locked in. With True Gamer, I'm already coming into the game thinking you suck. That's how I feel.
But DZ, let me ask you this:
Did he beat
how
you?
is it that True Gamer can suck
and he's beating you like
twice?
maybe
But that's why I
Yeah.
think you guys have to you can't just omit what I said. It's the personnel that he has. It's just the personnel. If he doesn't have that personnel, I'm blowing him out like 9 times out of 10. He's not skilled.
But
That's
but
just
see, we can't
my personal
go
opinion.
into hypotheticals. And if you look at the personnel with the Cowboys, with the losses that they've done, it's not as elite or daunting as it has been in the past. And he is, I think he's beaten you maybe 3 or 4 times in a row. So, and he's defeated the. I mean, what is it as far as the lack of respect for Coach Gamer?
It's just that. It's just what he comes. It's what he's gifted with that team. It's just what he's gifted. And then historically, he has not done much with the gift that he was given. I can name plenty of other coaches that would have the rosters that he's had, and they're going to have more success. They're going to have more success than him. And again, that goes back to your team. Your personnel is only going to get you so far. At some point, you're going to have to use you're going to be the ones that's doing the button input. And I feel like his button input is not that great.
Okay. So
His button input is not that great. Okay.
Now, so when each would you come back to the podcast and say, "Hey, I was wrong"?
Say that one more time. You were breaking up. I didn't hear you, Chad.
Okay, apologies. I'm sorry. When he beats you, will you come back into the podcast and say, "Hey, I was wrong. He's simply a better coach than I am"?
No, not
Wow.
not right away. Not right away.
Okay.
I would say like once I get some corners on the field.
Okay.
Well, we probably gonna go over there
okay.
tomorrow then. Yeah,
Okay,
tomorrow. Just
okay.
remind me because I will forget. And then you gotta let me know.
So
I'm doing something. Come back.
So is Zeke the same Zeke, right? Is Zeke the same Zeke?
doing
Is
something.
is Amari Cooper's in Cleveland now?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He doesn't have the personnel that he
Well,
had
let's
the last
let's
time he beat you.
that's a great question, Coach Shifty. Let's look at the statistics, so that way we don't have to kind of guess.
Okay.
So right now, Dak again, he only completed 63% of his passes, 36 touchdowns, 37 picks. He only threw
Okay.
for 256 yards per game and an 89 QBR. So that's not great. Zeke again. 1,100 yards. So we're not talking about elite Zeke. Still capable. Had 12 touchdowns. And now from a receiving perspective, he had 2 wide receivers that had over 1,000 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 1,473, and Michael Gallup had 1,386. So I don't think it was daunting as far as statistically what the Cowboys did. But again, you're talking about a team who had the first round bye, and a team that was 14-3 that defeated the Lions, that lost to the Bears by 1 point. So it's kind of mind-boggling the lack of respect that Coach True Gamer gets amongst his peers. And I don't know. Well, what do you think? I can't truly understand why.
Well, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
I do think though that DZ I think he feels like it should have been different for him, and you can say it's talent, but in the same case, DZ just said it. Wait till I get some corners. So he also feels like he needs talent to beat him. I don't know.
I mean, he beat the Lions. He beat the Bears. He lost to the Rams by 3 points. I mean, all of the juggernauts. He beat Cincinnati. I mean, he beat he lost to Jacksonville by 4. So you're talking about just game in and game out against the elite PFL teams of this season 1. He's defeated or lost a 1 possession game. But the lack of respect is definitely. What do you think, Coach Shifty? I think this year in and year out, Coach Gamer's been consistent and just hasn't received the love.
Right, and yeah, he's definitely been consistent in the as far as going to the playoffs. He's even made it to a bowl one time. I believe he's had the shit beaten out of him. But this is I'm looking at Dak's stats here with the 63% completion rate. But I think he may lose to DZ. I don't know, only because, right? Like I said, Amari's over in Cleveland. He has CD. I'm pretty sure, Okuda's going to be able to check CD at some points, right? But looking at Dak Prescott, This guy has 36 touchdowns and 37 interceptions. I just don't see, I don't know if True Gamer's gonna be able to get by on against DZ on this one.
But do you think that Coach Deasy, who again in his mind he's already has a not necessarily an excuse, but what he's saying is the Cowboys are more talented than we are. So then when the game takes a turn, do you think in the locker room is going to be, well, see, that's just Dallas. Do you think it'll be kind of that, and then as a result, another loss?
Well, no, I'm not gonna, because it sounds like we're comparing personnels, and if I'm not mistaken, the last time they played, in 21, Madden 21, we had the lineups built. We had our rosters were pretty much built up when they matched up at that time. So I can't really say that it's a personnel thing. Um, DZ, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time you guys matched up in 21, were the rosters not even
I kept
at that point in the
I
season?
kept switching quarterbacks. Remember, I just didn't. I kept trading my quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
just,
mean, when they
Well,
played in this season, I mean, Cole McDonald was they were hot. The Lions had scored before they played the Cowboys 66,
mhm.
63, 75, 75, and 48. What else is CPU?
Yeah.
So let's say user games. Again, he's
Mhm.
averaging about 70 points. And then when he played the Cowboys, they lost. They only scored 28.
Mhm. Mhm.
it's
Yeah, I mean,
in
it's
that
definitely.
game he ran a kickback. It's on the road. I'm on record saying that in the season on the road, Cole did not perform well, but it's to be expected. At this point, um, I'm just gonna let the team, to do talking on the field. You, there's no way he has my roster, and I have that one with Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, D Law, and I'm winning because I get a kick return. I have Dak, I have CD, I have Dalton Schultz. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. So
Huh?
we'll let the critics speak. Um,
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's
All
ask
right.
you this,
I
Coach
think.
Shifty. I know you took your talents to Texas and you're down there in
Mhm.
Houston, but your former team is the Vegas odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. I mean, what are you seeing in the Jacksonville Jaguars in Coach McNugget? They have won 12 consecutive games. Ironically, it looks like their last loss was to the Texans, 13-7 in week number 5. So,
Mhm.
what are you seeing from Vegas's favorite to come out of the AFC and win the inaugural PHFL Season One Bowl in Coach
And
McNugget and the
and and
Jags?
you did you who's favored it? Who can you just repeat that for me?
The
Who's favored
Vegas
it?
Vegas odds has Jacksonville as the favorite to win the PHFL Bowl. They've won 12
Yes. Okay.
consecutive games. Literally
Mhm.
had a phenomenal season. And I know you, again, were the former coach of Jacksonville. So it has to be a tad
Mhm.
bit bittersweet that your former
Mhm.
team is thriving since your departure. But what are you seeing from Coach uh, McNugget and the Jags? Since
um.
again, you were the last team to beat them in week 5.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think honestly, I think McNugget is a very
Hey,
very
fellas, sorry about that. I'm back.
tough competitor. Um. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. If the Jags and the Lions line up, I'm gonna go with the Vegas favorite on that. I'm gonna take that just solely off of Nugget is a good user. He has a superstar running back, a superstar quarterback, and he has a very hefty defense in my opinion. So I think with Nuggets play calling, and things like that, he's gonna be able to outcoach the Lions. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, maybe a 6 point difference. But I think in the end, Nuggets gonna come out with the ring. But on the other hand, you also got Twitch, right? So if Twitch goes to the bowl, does he beat Nugget? It's
That's
tough.
tough.
You know,
That's tough.
Twitch has really been hit or miss for me. You know what I'm saying? Either Twitch is either gonna come out hot or you know he's gonna come out shaky. I'm not gonna say he's gonna come out cold, but he's gonna come out shaky. And I don't think you're gonna be able to come out and compete against Nugget. You know, with shaky play calling. So you know, either matchup. If he gets the Cowboys, Lions, or the Bears, I think the AFC takes the
Can I can
championship
I
if Nugget goes.
can I ask a question? You said that the Jags will be favored over the Lions. Did they match up? Did they match up in the regular season?
No.
They did not.
The Jags didn't match up with the Lions.
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh, they did. You guys did actually.
And then
You
what?
guys you guys
Yeah,
actually.
and I know one pundit,
Yeah.
he was on record saying that the game was over, and then the coach was trying to get to a certain accolade. Did that not take place?
Mm. Yeah. I mean, so let's see who won that game.
It was
Let's see
it
what the
was
score
it was
was.
22-19 in overtime. Again, it was
Mm.
the Lions were up. I recall that game. The Lions were up 16-0 going into the fourth quarter, and the Jags made a great comeback based off of their defense.
Mhm.
So
And then the
again,
Right.
Lions, the Lions had the game in control. All they had to do was really take knees, right? They threw a pass. The receiver St. Brown got stripped. Again, we have to be consistent when we're part of a national media outlet. And I remember a reporter
Mm.
saying the game was over.
yeah, but
Now,
but see, this is not a Jags and Lions debate because the Lions from Vegas for per Vegas is not coming out of the NFC. The Vegas
okay,
has the Bears coming out of the NFC. We don't
okay.
we don't
Mm.
think that the Lions will have the intestinal fortitude
Mm.
to beat
No
the
balls.
Bears. Yeah, well, to beat the Bears when the chips are on the line. So again, this is not a Jags versus Lions conversation. The NFC is a gauntlet. The NFC, there's some tough teams in the NFC, and
Yeah.
I think the Lions again had an amazing season with Cool Cole McDonald.
hmm
But their fight is not with the Jags. Their fight is with their arch nemesis, the Chicago Bears, and Coach Twitch.
There's one
So
team. Go ahead.
so no, I was gonna say let's get to let's get to the Bears and the Rams, and then let's touch up on the Panthers and the Saints for the upcoming matchup, right?
Okay.
So you got the Bears. They beat the Rams. You know, was that expected or you know the Rams are pretty hot. You know they have a pretty solid team over there, man.
I mean, Vegas had the Bears coming out. I mean, Vegas has the Bears going to the Super Bowl, and we just think that nasty is. I mean, he has the perfect name. He's just nasty, in a bad way. You know what I mean? He's just like
Wow.
he's itchy balls. It's nasty. Go wash.
Oh man.
Sorry for my PG-13 viewers, but again, I think that was to be expected. I don't think there's any.
Okay.
Now that team, I mean, you're talking about elite talent at some key positions, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that Coach Deasy definitely kind of gave a game plan and what is a focus for Coach Twitch. He said he focused on turnovers, and ironically, the Rams had 6 turnovers and was down 35-7 in the first quarter. So at that,
All right. We lost him again. I'm
Can
not
you
sure
guys
what's
get this
going
guy's
on.
satellite mic fixed, please? Enough.
oh, what's
I'm
going
not
on?
sure what's
But again,
going on.
again, Coach Deasy he pinpointed that the Bears' strategy is to capitalize off turnovers, and
All right. So let me ask you this: do you think that the Rams roster is the most difficult roster to play against in the NFC in the current playoff bracket?
Well, the Rams are eliminated, so I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know if
done.
you can. Yeah, I don't know if we can say that now.
Right,
Um,
right. No. So that's what I'm saying. Is that roster wise, right? Is that Twitch's toughest matchup? Do you think that he's already knocked out the
no,
toughest matchup
no,
roster wise?
no. His
No,
So
tough.
the
who has
Cowboys
the better
better.
roster?
No, it's not about the roster. It's about being familiar with one another and knowing each other's tendencies. And his toughest matchup it will be against the Lions. He will beat the He will beat the Cowboys handily, in my opinion. His toughest matchup will be against the Lions.
Mm,
I mean,
okay.
Coach Twitch, for those who are not aware and who are new to the PHFL and our broadcast, Coach Twitch was he was an errand boy on the Lions staff back in
Hmm.
2000 and maybe 17. So everything that Coach Twitch knows came from Coach Deasy. They were videos with
Oh,
them.
like
You
Belichick and
know,
McDaniels. Gotcha.
yeah. There videos with them playing, wiffle ball and going to the amusement parks and
Hmm.
Deasy, Coach Deasy
Like a
just kind of
dad?
took Coach, yeah, he kind of took him under his
Oh,
wing,
okay.
and
Okay.
he was a young upstart, hot shot, intern. He was good at, just making sure that the cliques were the spikes were at the right level, and I mean, just did all of the small things and literally just
His
worked
shoe
his
program, huh?
way.
Okay.
Yeah, he just worked his way up and then got his first opportunity in, I believe, Cleveland. And again, there were a lot of hours and a lot of study sessions between Coach Deasy and Coach Twitch. And at a
Mm,
certain point, all of that internal data that was programmed into Coach Twitch
mm,
resulted in Coach Twitch now as a kind of a step above Coach Deasy. So that them two kind of starting together and him, working with Coach Twitch and teaching him all the different nuances of offense. It's very difficult for Coach Deasy to beat the kid right now.
Mm.
I just got word from the Eagles coach as well. He told me to relay this message to you guys, the VFL guys specifically, that you guys fucking suck. So
I just
Uh,
want
let's
really quick, if I could touch on one
I was
thing,
with
just
the
so
Eagles.
the
I thought they did a
fans
good
yeah.
job.
would know that this is not just some type of hate when we talk about the way that this guy wins games. He has 5 losses. I'm just going to run through them really quick. I lost to the
Mhm.
Packers. He lost the turnover battle 3-1. You go down and he played the Cowboys. Lost the turnover battle 6-2. Go down
Mhm.
again, and he lost to the Dolphins. Again, he lost a turnover battle 4-1. And I believe there's one more game on the schedule. Let's see. I think it's the Eagles. Yeah, he lost 6-4. So when we say that this guy thrives on the turnovers, that's exactly what he does. And if he loses that battle, most likely he's going to lose that game.
Now, one thing I will say,
Mm,
again, that's a great point,
mm,
but I think you can say that for probably 90% of the coaches when you lose a turnover battle. I mean,
That's fair.
especially when you're talking about the length of time in the game,
Yeah.
when you giving away a possession with the amount of time that we have in the league, it makes it extremely difficult to be able to overcome turnover. So I think again that's an excellent point, and I think factoring that in with the length of time that the games are, it makes it extremely difficult for any team to be able to overcome turnover. So if you look at, for example, turnovers and look at like who are the number one in point differential or turnover differential. The Rams are number one. They made the playoffs. The Bengals, number one seed. The Panthers in. The Bears, the Eagles, the Saints, the Ravens. Once we flip it to go over and look at the difference, or those who struggled, you have the Colts minus 43, the Raiders minus 33. You have the Cardinals turnover differential 20 minus 27, the Giants minus 26, the Bills minus 23, the Browns minus 22, and the Bucks minus 21. So to your point, even the Commanders minus 11. So when you turn the ball over, it's extremely difficult to win.
mm. That's a great take, Reg. Thank you for that, man. Let's move over to the Panthers Saints. We got the upcoming matchup with
Hmm.
them. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys want to get touch up on this topic, because Rel, he thinks, and we have Rel in the viewer lobby as well.
Okay.
I know he believes that he has a lot of haters, and his fan base is pretty big. So what are we expecting to come out of this matchup? Who's gonna pull this off? Is
What,
it gonna be the Panthers or the Saints?
what I think is President really support
You you
we
we
support
got
Coach
you
Grizzly.
breaking up, Coach. We
King,
got
Okay,
you
can you
let,
breaking
guys
up.
let,
fix
let
this
me
guy's mic?
uh, as the guy who supports Coach Grizz. I know there's a lot of animosity between Coach Grizz and the Bucks. Again, they're rivals. Even some lingering
Who?
animosity with the Lions. But Coach Grizz just beat the Panthers a week ago, 34-0. I don't
Jesus
know.
Christ.
I don't know if psychologically the Panthers have recovered from that. When you beat a team that bad and that convincingly, and then you have to play them the next week, and it's the playoffs. I mean, I'm not sure. And again, I would love to hear you guys' opinion as coaches. And now, on top of that, you got swept this season. I mean, is it possible for the Packer or for the Panthers to overcome losing to a team twice, and then not on top of that, just getting shut out 34-0 in the last game? I mean, is it possible for them to be able to bounce back and win?
I got to say this. you know, I don't know. I don't know. I know Rel's a good competitor. When it comes to coaching in the playoffs, right? Um, I think with that 34-0 loss, I think Rel might have his number on this one. I don't think you're gonna be able to just bounce back and say, I'm gonna be able to go touchdown for touchdown with this guy now. Maybe if it was a closer game, prior to them playing in the playoffs, if it was a closer game, maybe a 3 point difference or something like that. Then I would have favored the Panthers maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. Just coming out of a no-scoring game, you were held to 0 points. Yeah, I don't know. This might be a cakewalk for Real in the playoffs.
Well, what about you,
What do you
Yeah,
Coach?
think,
I
Well,
Coach?
you
mean,
know both of those teams. What about you? Like
yeah,
you
I
you have
feel
familiarity
like
with both. What do you think?
I feel like the sweep in the regular season is going to continue. I don't. I mean, it's one thing where you could say the Panthers tried to play it close to the vest because they felt like because they had the same record they would see each other in the playoffs. But that
Hmm.
didn't look like uh, if you look at the previous game, the Saints still kind of handled the Panthers kind of easily. I do think the Saints will move on to the next round.
And this PHFL broadcast is sponsored by Bacon. If you are interested or if
Hold on,
you're
hold on,
hungry,
hold on. You
please.
broke up. Who are we sponsored
This
by?
is
Can
sponsored
we
by Hickory Smoked Bacon. If you're hungry
mm,
and you love Hickory Smoked Bacon, please grab you some, put you some eggs, a bagel with some jelly and some butter,
mm.
and enjoy yourself an egg, bacon, and bagel sandwich.
There you go. You got Coach Reg's meal of the day for everyone listening in, right? All right, so I think we all in favor of Coach Rel for that game, and we'll see who he matches up against, in the divisional round of the playoffs. And the last matchup we really have to speak on here is, the Chiefs and Raiders, who won't really be able to play. We haven't really spoken much about Ballin, the stat patter of the year.
Hmm.
Um, but the Chiefs they've been pulling some upsets. They might get the force coming out of this one only because the Raiders might not be able to play. Um, so who? Let's see who he would match up against. 7 seed loss here. He might match up against the. Are the 3 and the 4 gonna play? Or no, it's the 1 and the 4, right? And then the
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
two
one who
and
played the
the
lowest
highest and
seed.
three.
lowest.
Yeah, highest and lowest.
Yeah, so 2 and the 3 are gonna play. So he's likely gonna match up against Nugget. Um, do we expect him to pull out? Come out of that game? Like, what are we thinking here?
Well,
Historically, he's never beaten McNugget.
Jesus.
But I mean, he does have a solid team. Yeah, it's a lot that if he can play the way he's been playing, it will. This one I got kind of as a toss up, honestly. If his offense can show
Mm,
up, I don't think the Jags have enough defense to stop his offense.
I mean,
mm.
I'm a little biased because I raised Coach Ballin. He was a little snotty nose, a little pipsqueak running around, with a high voice, and I was the Skins and he was the Cowboys, and I know he's a Chargers fan, and, kind of the same way that DZ took Twitch under his wing, and I took Ballin under my wing. I took BG under my wing, and
Mm.
I mean, I'm proud of the critter, man. He's definitely a threat. And if there's any team that will derail the Jaguars, literally cakewalk to the Super Bowl, it will have to be the Bengals. Because if you look at the AFC and just like the Final Four or the Final Four, you're talking about Cowboys, Bears, Lions, and Saints. So let me ask you this. I'll ask you this.
Mm.
Would any of you be surprised if the Cowboys, Bears, Lions, Saints, or Panthers win the Super Bowl? Yes or no? If one of those teams, so Cowboys, Bears, Lions, Saints, or Panthers, if either one of those five teams win the Super Bowl, would anybody be surprised?
The last two names, I would be surprised.
You'd be surprised if the Panthers or the Saints win.
Yes.
Okay?
I think it's really going to be dependent on matchup, but I mean, yeah. If I'm gonna agree with Woe on that only because of the teams that are currently advancing in the NFC.
Okay.
Those are gonna be some tough matchups to beat.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just don't
so
think those
well,
last two
let's well
teams can
let's
compete
well let well let
with the other
let's
ones.
flip it this way. The Jaguars, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Bills. Your life is on the line. I mean, and you have to pick one of those teams. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's rephrase it. Can any one of those AFC teams realistically win the championship? Can the Bills win the championship?
No,
No,
absolutely the
I
fuck
would say
not.
the Bengals.
That's the only team.
No, Bengals and the Jags for sure.
the Jags?
Bengals and the Jags.
Okay. So if you
For
look,
sure. And then,
Mhm.
but this just I just want to say though, like the you never know with the Chiefs. I feel
Exactly.
like
That's
there's
what I was about
gonna
to say.
be an upset.
He's so up and
There's
down
gonna be an
sometimes, and
upset
sometimes he is
somewhere.
dominating the game, and then sometimes he's
Hmm.
probably high and he's just calling whatever play he wants to. But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah. But realistically, the Jags and the Bengals are obviously have the best chance of
Oh.
going.
So let's talk about kind of individually, just looking at kind of some statistics and some kind of great plays as we go through talking about award winners. If you had a vote this year, and I
Mhm.
know sometimes again, I'm not sure of the process of how it's programmed for awards, but right now, if you just look at holistically, the best player this year, who would it be?
Mhm. The best player this
The best
year, in
player.
my opinion, that's tough, man. That is very tough, man. I might have to give it to DZ. I might have to give it to DZ, man.
Cole McDonald? You think he was the best
Cole
player?
McDonald,
Huh?
54 overall
nah. I think
quarterback or
Christian
59.
Watson, the rookie, has done some amazing things.
Oh, the best overall player
The best overall player.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm thinking you're
Like
talking about it as a user.
no. Who
Okay.
who had the in your
Okay.
opinion, like just looking at kind of, holistically, if you want to do receivers, running backs, defense, like what statistical performance kind of stood out? I mean, you could talk about Joe Burrow with 69 touchdowns, but 46 interceptions, that's a lot of interceptions. Rushing, I don't think anybody really stood out from a rushing perspective. Mostert had 1,800 yards, but again, I don't think that's anything that's eye-opening. Christian Watson, 104 receptions, 2,400 yards, and 22 touchdowns. However, Jamar Chase, 115 receptions, 2,200 yards, and 33 touchdowns.
Jesus Christ.
A defensive
Jesus,
perspective,
man.
um, 20 sacks by Brian Burns. Max Crosby, 20 sacks.
Kalon
Um,
Barnes.
Jordan Fuller, 18 interceptions for the Rams. So if you have Jordan Fuller with 18 interceptions and you have arguably, not even arguably, the best cornerback in the league on the other side, I'm not sure how you gave up 60 something points, but that's a different discussion. I mean, how about Coach Wolf
Mm,
and Tariq Woolen? 17 interceptions for the 6'4 rookie cornerback.
mm,
Yeah, that kid's
mm.
problem. I mean,
Yeah, so
the
Yeah,
Panthers got a lot of award winners over there. That rookie they got, Kalon Barnes, he's like Woolen, but he got a lot of INTs. Look how many INTs he got. It's a lot.
mhm.
yeah, man. It definitely came down to the wire with some of these receivers, and it looks like Christian Watson is definitely going to get Offensive Player of the Year for in the NFC,
Mhm.
right? Then you got Kalon Barnes on the Panthers. Okay, yeah, defensive player. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely. I guess it would have been a definitely receiver wise. It would have definitely been a toss up between Jamar Chase and Christian Watson. And it looks like Christian Watson actually came up on top
Mhm.
uh, from what EA is putting out here. But if we're gonna go quarterbacks, I think we gotta give it to Cole McDonald
Yeah, for
because
sure.
again if he's doing this with the 59 overall quarterback, he's gonna definitely be able to perform with the higher overall quarterback. So I don't know, tough, very tough statistics here. Very high powered statistics. Hopefully we'll be making a change to some rules next season to lower this yardage and make it a bit more realistic and challenging for the users to compete for these awards. But for me, I'm gonna have to give it to Cole McDonald.
Okay, so
So,
let's talk about the Texans and kind of go through individually and ask some of the
well, we don't really have to touch up on the Texans.
hey,
It's just
well,
not something we don't
well,
we,
no,
that
no,
we
no.
have to touch up
No, we,
on.
we want to ask kind of your
Uh,
future plans. I mean, again, you're talking
Oh,
about, as a coach, right? I mean, you had a solid season, coach. I mean, you can't knock a winning record for the lack of talent that you had. The team believed they fought tooth and nail. You had some good quality wins. So what is the offseason going to look like? The Texans have some draft capital from the Deshaun Watson trade. So I mean, again, I think your front office is going to be busy. Definitely have some money. What is the primary need in Houston? Because one of the things that has been really discussed on local radio is dynamic David Mills and whether or not that your staff believes in him. What can you say to the
well,
fans?
definitely, very tough season for us. I think we're definitely gonna have to make some changes to the roster. As you can see on my screen here, we're a very, very low-powered team, right? So Davis Mills, I think he's definitely he's gonna be the starter next season for sure. For me, I'm definitely, we're gonna go get a running back. I'm gonna go get a horse. Okay, I'm just letting everybody know this now, so that when you run into this guy with a linebacker and you wonder why your 300-pound linebacker is on the floor, just you're gonna know why. Um, so the plan is definitely to go get a running back. I'm not gonna spread too much draft information here because we have a lot of viewers listening in. But Davis Mills is going to be the starting quarterback going forward. His throwing power got upgraded to a 90, and that was really the determining factor for me. If it would have stayed in the 80s, I might have had to revisit the quarterback option. But as far as now, we're going to make some changes to the line. You know, keep the quarterback, maybe get a receiver, and that's all you guys really need to know as far as what we're going in the draft.
Huh? Again,
Um,
great season, Coach Shifty. You took a team that, again, like you said, lacked talent, and they had a over 500 record. So I think you definitely should probably receive, and I think you have some, Coach of the Year votes. So again, just definitely overall a good quality coaching staff. performance from Coach Shifty and the staff in Houston. And Coach Deasy, I have to ask you a question because I think we talked about this maybe during midseason. Cole McDonald, what is the franchise plan as far as Cole McDonald, and will he get a long-term contract from the Lions? Coach
I'm
Deasy?
not sure we have. He
Okay.
might have stepped away.
Yeah,
Maybe
he already
to some
re-signed
family
Cole
duty.
McDonald. Actually, Cole McDonald has a
Okay.
7-year contract.
Okay.
A
Great.
7-year contract, 59 overall.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that beautiful, right? Let's bring in a few coaches here, right? Let's bring
Okay.
in Coach Twitch. Before we end this, let's bring in a few coaches and see what their opinions are. So we're gonna bring in Coach Twitch. He's probably appearing offline here. Let's bring in Coach Twitch, man.
You know what? And we got to bring in, again, the surprise of the playoffs, Coach Mike S. Mike S. needs some love. He's in the divisional round after, again, just a surprising victory over the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm. Coach Twitch, what's going on, man? You can make sure you got your audio included.
Yeah, I just included it right now. It'll be good.
Mm. How does it feel, man? Beating that high-powered, Rams team. How does it feel? Was it an easy matchup for you, or what?
I came into it not really worried. He threw about four
Mm.
picks in the first quarter, so I knew it was over.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
my offense
You knew
didn't
it was
really
over
play
in the
good.
first quarter.
Yeah, it was over. It was like 35-7, so it was over.
Okay. And I know the discussion before you joined has been, you're not going to be able to win if you don't win the turnover battle. What do you have to say about that? Can you win games if you've have you won games, turning the ball over more than your opponent?
I mean, you can say that about a lot of coaches, but yeah, I can
Mm.
win without turning the ball over. In the playoffs, I don't really turn the ball over that much. I play actually
Ooh.
smart in the playoffs. I don't just throw the ball up to
Mm.
kill Harry, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, I like that. I like that take. So my last question for you is, who do you think is going to be your toughest matchup in the playoffs? Right? Is it going to be between the DZ, the Cowboys, or Rail? Who's going to be the toughest matchup?
I'll probably say the Lions. But
And why is that? Don't you, because you usually beat this guy in the playoffs. You beat him pretty often and
every time.
upset him a lot. Every time. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me be corrected on that, right? So you beat him every time in the playoffs. Is you think it's going to be a cakewalk for you or what?
I mean, I know his offense pretty well. All he does is throw four verticals up every time. So I don't think I'm
Mm.
worried about his offense in the playoffs. But the Cowboys, it's just his team. I don't think he's really a good user. So I'm not really worried
Wow.
about any of them.
And how would you feel about if somehow you had to match up with Rel? How would you feel about that if Rel advances?
Uh, he's not. So yeah.
Well,
Oh,
well,
wow.
let me ask you this, Coach Twitch, because I mean, again, you started under Coach Deasy. You were a disciple. When you were a young pup.
Nah, that's
Um,
disrespectful. Nah.
okay, again, no disrespect, Coach. I mean, no disrespect. You're a young pup, and there seems to be a slight bit of not necessarily animosity, but disrespect on both sides. Do you get an extra little? And I think you mentioned because you corrected Coach Shifty, and I want to make sure our viewers hear this. The Lions or Coach Deasy, Coach team, has never, ever, ever, never beaten you in the playoffs at all, ever.
I don't recall.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Do you think did you get a little extra, kind of oomph when you know that you're lining up against Coach Deasy?
Not really. There's no rivalry. He's never beaten me, so there's no rivalry. I come
Oh
in
wow.
and play
Okay.
as in like it's any other game.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Wow.
No rivalry. Okay.
That's very tough, man. That's a very tough statement.
Okay.
Very low respect
Very.
for Coach Deasy. And guys, we got Rel in the party, and then we just want to thank you, Twitch, for coming in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good luck in the playoffs, Coach. We'll let you get back to your day. And again, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the bowl. So good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
I mean, Coach Grizz. I mean, as you know, we're fans, and
Hey,
again,
I appreciate y'all having me on the podcast.
Hold on. Make sure your audio's included, man.
Look, you ain't got to worry about that. It's already said.
It's in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Before I said a word, it was said. So yeah,
okay.
I just want y'all. I gotta kick this door in, man. I really gotta kick this door in because I feel. See, this is where I believe I have a lot of haters, Coach Reg. Let me break this down for y'all, right?
Yes, sir.
I go 12-5 with no QB. Like I use 3 QBs, 2 were bums, and I get a record. I get almost the same record as Cole McDonald. I don't get no love. I get no shine, no none. Right? I just heard this little cockroach say that. Oh, I'm not getting past the first round. He ain't got nothing to say about me, right? We ain't gonna mention, the couple little scrimmages we had. I swole his melon up. We ain't gonna talk about that, right? Shut him down, locked him up, shipped him out. UPS, we got him out of there, right? So I get a lot of hate, and then my biggest hater of all, my rival, say, oh, no chance the Saints could go to the Super Bowl and win. No chance. There's no chance. When all these coaches that are being mentioned, I've already beaten. I didn't play, the Jags, or they. I'm not worried about those guys. I lost 2 games chasing a dev. Y'all know how Madden go. You chase a dev, you lose games. Got a little ugly out of hand or whatever. Who cares? But when it comes down, like Coach Twitch just said, when it comes down to the playoffs, I don't gamble as much. I try to, stick within my scheme and just play tough, hard-nosed football. Like
let me
Reg,
ask you this, Coach
I'm gonna take
Grizz.
Coach Reg
Okay,
saying, construction boots and hard hat when we out here on this field. Like,
Okay,
that's all-
good.
the
Coach
whole
Grizz, let me
league
ask you
knows
this.
man.
Let me ask you this, Coach Grizz. Why do you think that there is hate? I mean, you've been consistent. The Saints come out, they play a good crowd-pleasing brand of football. Why do you think that there is so much hate and animosity towards the Grizz?
Man, look, Coach Reg, honestly, man, at this point, I ran out of answers. I don't even know what to make of it. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe just because I get real gully, and while I'm getting gully, I put a voice behind it. Maybe that's because I'm one of the very few in this league that does that. I don't know. I may be the only one. But I get on my Twitch, I talk, and while when I'm uppercutting and gut punching these dudes, I talk to them while I'm doing it, and that I don't know. I feel like that may be the reason why there's a lot of hatred. Right? That may be the reason why.
Okay. Well, listen, Coach, we want to thank you because it looks like the Panthers and the Saints are going to kick off relatively soon.
Well,
so...
hey, listen, fan. I apologize. I came home real quick to grab something for football.
Okay.
You know what I mean,
okay.
when we done with the games, I promise we gonna be live. We definitely gonna be live.
Okay.
I wish I had time right now to take care of it, but unfortunately for the fans, the little few fans that Grizz got, and you got to hold off a little bit, man. You got to hold off.
I listen. We definitely appreciate you popping in and taking the time out your busy schedule, Coach. It's definitely appreciated, and good luck, sir, in the wild card round.
Hey, look, I appreciate
luck,
y'all, man. Like what y'all got going on, keep it going. Hey, let's get it popping.
Yes,
appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, fellas. I think the last coach, we could bring him in. I mean, he's not really a factor. We'll see if he joins. He's one of the losing coaches this season. But he just hopped offline actually, so I don't know if he'll be joining. So oh
I mean, I had to
oh
bring in Coach Mike S. Again, we want to give him his flowers while they're still visible. Coach Mike S., welcome to the PHFL podcast. How's it going, Coach?
make sure you include your audio, man.
All right, hello. Can you hear me, brothers?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can
Yes,
hear
yes.
you.
Is your audio included?
Yes, sir.
Is
Yes,
your
sir.
audio included?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We are tapped in.
Okay, Coach.
Okay.
Coach Mike S., let me ask you this.
Uh huh.
There were pretty much everybody in Vegas had the Ravens winning that game.
Actually,
Not
I don't
only-
believe that one there.
Okay, but not only did you win, you dominated and
Absolutely.
embarrassed the Ravens. What do you contribute the victory to? Was it the crowd in Buffalo? Was it just Josh Allen coming into its own? Like, what do you?
I contribute the victory to the amount of disrespect I endured throughout the season from other coaches like yourself. Let's
Yes,
say
sir.
Vegas as well.
Yes,
I
sir.
had some people who believed in me,
Yes,
but
sir.
I do believe at one point in the season that I was referred to as a bottom feeder.
Oh wow!
I think the things that you do during the season don't necessarily matter if you make it to where you were trying to get. You know what I mean? For the Buffalo Bills, what do we expect? Super Bowl contender, maybe AFC conference game. I still have a couple more games to get to where, this team is supposed to be. But for myself as a user, I definitely exceeded expectations of others. I believe I met the expectations of my team by winning my division. That's one. Making the playoffs. That's two. And then dominating, not just winning a playoff game, but dominating a playoff game into one of the more highly favored and touted users in this league that everybody assumed would win. Not everybody. I had some people in my corner.
Well, let me
All right,
ask
so
you.
let-
I'm sorry. Let me get this last one out, Coach Shifty. I'm sorry. Well, what do you have to say, Coach Mike, to all those coaches and pundits and media outlets and your talk show hosts that doubted your ability? What do you have to say to them?
Man, it's just that if you give me credit when I'm messing up, I need my credit when I'm doing good. The game doesn't bail me out when I'm doing bad, so the game doesn't bail me out when I'm doing good. That's all I got to say on it.
Okay.
Very, very humble response there. I just have one last question for you then. Realistically, and let's be realistic, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the playoffs? How far do you see yourself going before you get cut off?
See that what you just said there is quite an instance to what's been going on this season. That before you get cut off is an
I mean it's gonna happen. So
See, that right
when
there. What
you wanna?
you in the playoffs, right?
No, I'm actually not.
Okay.
No.
So you're cut off already. I understand that. But look, so I can understand where the bias of assuming somebody would be cut off from, because that's where you stand. That's where your point of view is.
Well, you know what? You're
cut
actually. I'm gonna let you know. You're gonna be done in the divisional. Okay, you're not making it past that. I see you losing by at least 30 points.
You would have said that last game too. I'm pretty sure you would have said that last game as well. If you asked me, if you would have said I would have lost by 30 points to the Ravens, and there's no doubt about it, you would have said the same thing if we had this a week before. But hey, you're the people I do it for.
Well, Mike, guys, let me put it. You're likely gonna match up against Ballin, right?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bengals.
Mhm. We've seen him before.
You've seen him before. What was the score when you saw him?
We don't think about the regular season once we get into the playoffs. This is like a whole new season,
Well, we just want to know. We just want to know what I'm pretty sure the viewers want to know what the score was of the last game.
I mean, y'all do y'all due diligence. I'm pretty sure you got the tally on it. But in my head,
no
it's a pretty close game before, mistakes was made. But we're here to play smart football in the playoffs. Take every opportunity given to us. Execute when we need to execute. And put the ball in the end zone. We scored 5 offensive touchdowns in that game. A lot of people say my offense is shaky. Josh Allen did go through 2 interceptions, but we were up by 30 points at that point. It's funny you say that.
So just a quick question. The score was 83-35.
Mhm.
You almost tripled your score there. How do you think you're gonna come out this next game?
Well,
What are you gonna do different
well,
that can
what I can say is when it rains, it pours. So triple,
it definitely poured?
quadrupled. I could have lost by 1 point. I could have lost by 50. You know, a loss is a loss.
Hmm.
We don't tally the points of the loss. You know what I mean? Because it's a loss. But wins. You know, we think about the wins and how we're gonna come out and how we're gonna dominate. We're gonna put pressure on Joe Burrow. We're gonna see if he can not throw 6 interceptions like Lamar Jackson, even though he's not as mobile to get away from those things.
Mm.
But you know, when you get flustered, when it's in your face, you know,
Hmm.
when you throw an interceptions, you throw one, then it's capitalized, and then you may fumble or you throw another. It's just your whole game plan goes out the window, and that's what pressure does. We got pressure in Buffalo. We got pressure.
So do you have a problem handling pressure?
Do I have a problem handling pressure?
Do you have a problem handling pressure?
Oh no, we just gonna adjust, man. We may move the ball. We got a highly touted backfield with James Cook and Josh Jacobs. I feel like they complement each other well.
Okay.
And I think we're just gonna play smart football. Smart football can take this team to a Super Bowl. I don't see anybody cutting my water off if I play pretty smart because I have one of the better teams in this game, and you just gotta not
Mm.
mess up. You know, mistakes can cost you a lot. That's where I'm at with it. And if you minimize those
Okay, and
things,
just one last question for you. I see you've joined one of the D leagues. How do you compare the competition in that league compared to the Powerhouse? What are you?
definitely better comp here. I joined for the pace of things. You know,
Okay.
I'm more of a fast paced, 24 hours type of player. I mean, I really only get on
Okay.
Madden to get into the league games and build a team. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I guess with the slower pace for this season, we allowed more games to be played.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
but within the same time is the aforementioned D League. We're almost in the playoffs for the second season. So, I mean, it's just a time thing of how fast it's moving. I don't
Hmm.
play as many games as I do in this one, but it's just the way it moves. You know, more drafts, more off seasons, more team building. That's kind of what I get into franchise for is just the team building aspect. So the faster the moves
Well,
move.
listen,
Huh?
listen, Coach. You definitely, again, I wanted to make sure that the fans got an
I just
opportunity to
wanted an
give you your
apology.
flowers.
I just want an
I mean,
apology
again, we definitely want to make sure that the fans
from you, not the
recognize what
fans.
you've
From
done.
from from VFL Reg
Yes, sir.
'03.
Yes, sir.
I would like an apology. You know what I mean? Because
I,
Mm.
you was real disrespectful. I mean, real disrespectful out the season.
I
And
would
everybody's excuse
definitely
was I
say
had the Bills.
I will definitely say because I believe that the consensus was I think the Jet. No. I have to go back and look at the publication. I think we said the Bills were coming out of the AFC East because if I'm not mistaken, the Jets were ahead and the Jets gave some pushback. And we said no, we think the Bills may come out of the
You
AFC.
might be right.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think.
he might be
Yes,
right.
I think again. You definitely from the staff, the PHFL Sporting News, definitely got your respect, sir. And again,
I
I
mean,
just want to say good luck.
I don't know what Vegas was looking at when they looked at that game, man. I mean, not one person. That's real disrespectful. I looked at the article. Every other game was, mixed in between the people in the picks, but the consensus was just Ravens all the way through. Not even just one upset pick to, just
Listen,
feel
I
realistic.
mean,
Just
and
straight
it
disrespect.
and it appeared that the Bills used that as motivation. So again, congratulations, coach. We definitely,
Hey, hey,
you
man. Hey,
came out, you played a great game, and good luck in the divisional round.
let me see who I'm playing. Who I'm playing? Is it? No,
No,
I'm
we don't
not.
know
I'm
yet.
not
Yeah, we don't
playing.
know yet. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. So,
Oh,
but
Ballin
again,
has the bye. That's why you said that. Okay, okay,
yep.
Hmm.
But again,
okay. So
we definitely want to make sure that get your flowers, and we definitely again, great job on your victory, and we're gonna wrap up our podcast soon. But again, we want to definitely make sure that we get as many
hey,
coaches
man,
in as
yeah,
possible.
y'all have a good one, man. I
All right.
appreciate y'all bringing me in, man, and
Yes, sir.
let me speak my
Absolutely,
piece, man. You know,
absolutely.
Yep, you got it. Good luck, coach.
hey, I appreciate y'all boys, man.
Yep.
Again,
Alrighty, there,
this is what
everybody.
you get from the PFFL, guys. You get this from the PHFL. You get good quality content. You get coaches that come in and recap. You get coaches that are on the road that'll pull over, stop by, and chime in. And this is what you're going to get, consistently. And from our PHFL podcast, this is episode 1. We're going to continue it. And again, I think we did an awesome job.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank all the admins, the users for participating. Hopefully we can keep this kind of content going for y'all. We'll strive to do our best in doing such. So, again, thank you to the entire PHFL community. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. We're gonna wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. To all the coaches in the playoffs, good luck.
Yeah,
Take
I want
care.
to definitely shout out. I got a couple of shout outs I want to make sure that I get through before we close out. I want to shout out Coach Teddy for being trash. I want to shout out Coach Jimmy for being Jimmy. I definitely want to shout out Coach Ending for being a bowl of balls. And I want to shout out Coach Woe for being Coach Woe. Again, thank you very much for all the fans that we're viewing, and we definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir. PHFL, we're out.